guys, today we're going to look at Margarida against Victor Hugo. I'm just going to say Hugo because I'm American, so I'm probably not saying his name correctly, but we're just going to look at this match. So, by the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, this is Ricardo Amendolia. He has a lot of these old matches, so if you're not subscribed to his channel and you're into jiu-jitsu, you probably should be. So, check him out. Anyway. So Margarida is going to be in the white uniform here. Vitor, I'm just going to say Vitor. Hugo is going to be in the black. Margarida was known as a pretty competent judoka for jiu-jitsu, so it wasn't uncommon for guys to try to pull guard against Margarida, just because he was really good with like drop seonagi especially. You can see grip fighting right away, and I think Hugo's probably just going to try to pull guard here, which he does. Looks for the sumigaeshi style throw, but Margarida is just a little too experienced for that, and is good at keeping his hips back, things like that, staying heavy in this position. And so we end up in sort of this weird sort of butterfly guard position. So Hugo's trying to re-guard with the foot over. Margarida shucks it by, and so Hugo tries to come up on the single leg. Margarida pulls the leg out. Hugo gets stuck for a second in the turtle position and tries to re-roll. And Margarita's using his hip pressure to shut that down, and then we get this bully pass position. Hugo trying to stay mobile here, moving around, and Margarida, just for a second, let's take that back just for a second. And this would be a common passing position in this particular match. But Margarida gets to this, from this bully position, he gets to the bully with the leg staple right here. So Margarida gets this, we talk about this a lot in the gym, this sort of position where you have the bully grip with the leg on the shoulder on the one side, and then the leg stapling on the opposite side, kind of making the guy do the splits here. And it's a really tough position to be in for the bottom guy, and you can kind of pass in either direction. So really strong position here for Margarida early on. Hugo's trying to frame out, re-guard, pummeling back with the top leg. Margarida goes to the outside. Hugo again kind of moves his hips to try to counter. But Margarita's driving a lot of pressure here. And again, you can see Hugo trying to re-pummel with the legs. Margarida again kind of threatening to go to the backside here. And Hugo trying to stay flat just to avoid all of that. And Margarida, nice job by Hugo there. Gets the off balance and is able to get both of his legs out from under Margarita's controls and get his legs between him and Margarida. For a moment here, he gets the grip on the knee, looking to off balance. And then we reset. So back to the center. Now, a lot of times at the Worlds, they would just restart you from standing. So Margarida is pretty accustomed to that, but we're going to restart on the floor here, and right away Margarida just disengages. And this is what he likes right here. He wants to play judo, but a lot of times guys knew better than to play judo with him, and so they just pull guard to try to avoid getting thrown. And so you can see Margarida really just kind of walking towards Hugo, just trying to get him to engage with the judo battle somehow, and Hugo just looking for a chance to sit, and there it is, sits to guard again, but he gets kind of a bad position here where he ends up in this quarter guard, three-quarter mount. And again, Margarita's a very like short, stocky guy. I shouldn't say short. He's 5'8", but he's somewhere between 180 and 200 pounds most of his competitive career. And so he's just a kind of one of those stout, powerful guys that if you get them in one of these positions, it's very hard to do a whole lot with them, and Margarida is certainly no exception. So Margarida there is able to get the far underhook, and now he's in a good position to pass. Gets the head control, and now he starts to do this sit-through style pass you see a lot. Just kind of a classic jiu-jitsu style pass, and Hugo is basically kind of holding onto the leg here. You can see his hand trying to hold on the leg, and Margarida drives him flat again, just because he felt like Hugo was maybe trying to get, I assume was, felt that Hugo was starting to get some purchase pushing this way, and so Margarida drives him flat again. And a lot of times he would use this to get to his cross knee slide, right? So he's going to do it here, right here, gets to his cross knee slide. Margarita's cross knee slide, I think that was his best pass. He used it against like everyone, and was very strong with that move. You can see him getting the head position here, and I really like this style of passing with the cross knee slide, where he's using basically the top of his head against Hugo's jaw to really pin his head on the floor. And now the battle here is simply for this the right arm here. So Margarida staples, he was able to escape with his right arm, but we're just fighting for the right arm here because Margarida wants to drive the knee through, and that right arm can be an obstacle sometimes. And right here, Hugo, he's in a bad spot, and so he bridges to the inside, trying to do something, but Margarida has that underhook, and so it's very hard to do much with that bridge. And so Hugo gets stuck here in the turtle position, and Margarida here is just really controlling the position. And Margarida does a nice job there going from the turtle to sort of a mount, like a very close to a mount position. The position they end up with Hugo's arm is under Margarita's leg, so it's not really a mount in the sense that, like it is, but Margarita's position's not quite as strong just because Hugo's able to get to his side here, but it's a very strong position. And Margarida will go for this armbar. Like, the armbar was his best submission as far as percentages go. This was where he won most of his matches, was with an armbar. Again, very, very similar to judokas and how they play. He used a lot of arm bars, and this position he goes for the armbar. Maybe not the best, position to go because Hugo's up on his knees here, and so Margarida kind of loses control. A nice job by Hugo, by the way, getting out. So we re-enter this sort of quasi butterfly guard position here, but Margarida, because of his build, he's only 5'8" and about 200 pounds. He does not play close guard, hardly ever. His style of jiu-jitsu is very much like judo or even wrestling. He likes to sit up and attack ankle picks and collar drags and things like that. So you will not see him, very kind of similar to Marcelo Garcia. So you will not see him playing off his back very often. So he goes for the loop choke right here, and even starts to threaten this like bow and arrow loop choke variation. And so Hugo here is grip fighting, trying to just keep his neck from being, heavily attacked here. You can see an advantage point there for Margarida because of the submission attempt, and it was a fairly strong one. And again, here we are in the front headlock. This is, just a wrestling style position, very common in wrestling here. And this is how Margarida played. A lot of his stuff was much more like judo or wrestling than sort of the traditional jiu-jitsu. Now here Margarida pulls guard and gets the foot on the hip. He has the wrist control, and you'll see he goes to this Higa Machado style sweep here. So he grips the outside knee, the material of the outside knee, the inside knee, and he's looking to off balance Hugo now in this direction with the Higa Machado style sweep. Now Hugo counters by posting his hand. Then Margarida is able to get under his hips here. And so, very difficult position. And now Margarida is kind of repummeling with the legs, getting to almost like an X-guard style position here, just kind of pushing that far leg and then coming up on a high single. So there's the single leg, reversal, and he comes up to the top position, 2 points. Now if you notice in the scramble, so he gets 2 points for the sweep, but if you notice in this scramble, I'm back kind of far here, but you can see this whole thing again, the Higa Machado sweep, Margarida gets the lift, goes under the hips. Now look, if you notice, he keeps control of that left wrist the whole time. Sorry, the right wrist the whole time. So as he goes through, there's actually a deadlift armbar opportunity there. You notice, like Craig Jones, he uses that deadlift armbar a lot. And then we get to knee belly, and this is, to me, this is the short guy mount. Shorter guys a lot of times have a hard time with the mount just because their knees don't touch the floor very easily. So Margarida uses the knee belly a lot, and very, very strong with it. He likes the baseball bat choke and the armbar here. I think this is where he got sallow. The sequence started from knee belly, and he's just super strong from this knee belly position. So he'll get his 2 points, and he's really pinning here. And you can see right away he goes to that baseball bat choke grip with the 4 fingers inside on the opposite side collar. And then he drives through to sort of a mount, which is, from what I've seen in Margarida matches, not super characteristic of Margarida to go to this mounted position, but he doesn't mismatch. And now you'll see Hugo kind of makes stuck in a tough position, and he makes kind of the mistake here of overextending the arm, trying to bench press against the hips, and Margarida right away is going to counter with the belly down armbar. So here, and if you notice here, Hugo's, like, his hand will turn in this position. I can't tell if he's able to rotate the shoulder here or if the elbow just pops. Not breaks, but pops the elbow. But you'll notice there's this sort of moment where his hand's like this and then it suddenly goes like this. So right there. So Hugo's able to cartwheel through to avoid the finish there. Nice job by Hugo. And Margarida ends up in this kind of weird almost like when you reverse someone with the omoplata and they roll through, you kind of end up in the same position. So Margarita's still pinning. Hugo goes to all fours again, and Margarida floats around again, just like wrestling, floats around to the front headlock and has a good bite on the neck. Go for the arm and guillotine here, guillotine, and gets the finish there. So great match from both guys. Definitely two opposing styles here, right? Like Margarida with the sort of judo style, Salo style, top game. And you can see right here, Hugo's kind of rubbing that elbow out. I watched this a couple times, and I don't think that's the same arm that got armbarred. I think it was the left arm. So maybe that's a pre-existing injury from something else. Or maybe it actually got hurt in this match. I don't really know. But Hugo's definitely having some problems. You can see him opening and closing the hand. Probably some tingling in those fingers. But either way, Margarida gets the win here. And just a great match, at the World Championships in 2005. So anyway, that's Margarida and Vitor Hugo from the Mundial, the Brazilian World Championships 2005. We're going to have some more videos coming up with Margarida and some others. Kind of just highlighting and giving commentary on the matches. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.